This is Chief Andrew Hall with the Fresno Police Department. This video is a critical incident community debriefing concerning the death of Joseph Perez that occurred over 3 years ago. First and foremost, I want to express on the part of the Fresno Police Department how tragic this loss of life was. Despite Mr. Perez's personal struggles, it saddens all of us when a life is lost. This incident is the subject of a lawsuit, and during the litigation, a year after Mr. Perez's death, attorneys for the City of Fresno, the County of Fresno, and the family of Joseph Perez jointly requested and received a protective order for confidentiality of the various records, including the body cam video of the incident. More recently, the attorneys representing the Perez family made a request to now release this video. As the current chief, this request was brought to my attention, and while I was unaware of the earlier protective order that the parties agreed to restricting the release of this video, it was my decision, in the spirit of transparency, to agree to its release. I have instructed our legal counsel to remove the confidentiality designation and permit the release of the video. This incident, which happened on May 10th, 2017, started with a 911 call to the sheriff's office from a Fresno resident. The caller said he saw a man acting erratically and running into the street towards a busy roadway. 3 Fresno police officers, returning from an investigation and unaware of the 911 call made to the sheriff's department, came upon Mr. Perez by chance. They could see he needed help, and that the 41-year-old, 6-foot-tall, 241-pound man was possibly on drugs, alcohol, or suffering from some sort of mental distress. As officers approached, he became uncooperative and put himself at risk again by walking into the busy roadway. Our officers set Mr. Perez down on the sidewalk, handcuffed him for his own safety, and called an ambulance. But as you will see and hear, he resisted, and his distress grew despite efforts to calm him. Unknown to those officers at the time was the fact that Mr. Perez had a long history of contacts with law enforcement. In fact, he had been taken in for a mental health evaluation by other Fresno police officers just the day before and was discharged from the hospital shortly thereafter. Fresno sheriff's deputies arrived soon after and also recognized Mr. Perez's need for medical attention. The deputies also requested an ambulance. Mr. Perez escalated in his attempts to get back on his feet, and the officers and deputies had to restrain him to keep him from running back into the roadway. As Mr. Perez continued to be uncooperative and physically combative, officers and deputies laid Mr. Perez face down on the sidewalk and upgraded the ambulance response to an emergency. While officers and deputies were trying to control Mr. Perez, he was grinding his forehead into the sidewalk in an attempt to injure himself. Deputies used a towel from a patrol vehicle to hold Mr. Perez's head from the pavement in an attempt to try to protect him from further injury. While waiting for the ambulance and caring for Mr. Perez, officers and deputies can be heard repeatedly trying to de-escalate the situation and calm him down. Deputies and officers continually checked on Mr. Perez's welfare and tried to de-escalate the situation by asking him to relax and breathe. American ambulance personnel arrived on scene approximately 14 minutes later and took charge of Mr. Perez's medical care. The American ambulance paramedic made a decision to place the backboard on top of Mr. Perez while he was face down. The American ambulance staff placed the backboard on top of Mr. Perez and directed an officer to sit on the board so American ambulance personnel could secure him. At the direction of the paramedic, a Fresno police officer then sat on the backboard on the buttocks of Mr. Perez. The officer can be seen in the video remaining in that position for 1 minute and 15 seconds until the point where the officer was instructed by the paramedic to get up, which he immediately does. American ambulance personnel finished securing Mr. Perez to the backboard, turned him over, and placed him on a gurney and then into the ambulance for transport to the hospital. During this process, Mr. Perez lost consciousness and went into medical distress, requiring American ambulance personnel to start life-saving measures. Those life-saving measures continued during the transport, and unfortunately, life-saving measures were unsuccessful, and Mr. Perez was pronounced deceased at the hospital.
Fresno County Sheriff's Office. This is Mike.
Hey, Mike. I live on East Saginaw, in Old Fig. There's a Hispanic gentleman kind of running sideways and backwards and kind of throwing his arms up in the air, heading west on Saginaw towards Palm. He's just acting real strange. I don't know if there's a deputy in the area to kind of check it out. Or.
So he's in the 600 block of East Saginaw?
Yeah, well, now he just crossed over Van Ness, heading like towards Palm, but he's kind of running sideways, holding up his pants and throwing his arms up in the air, and I don't know what he's doing. He keeps looking back, and then it's almost like he's looking for something or hiding from something. I don't know.
Hey, Mary 10.
Hey, Mary 10.
Hey, start us a code 2 ambulance non-voluntary.
Copy.
Hey, Mary 14, they're going to have to 4-point him. He's fighting us.
Copy. Channel 4 is on emergency traffic.
No, we don't need to.
8 Mary 14, you don't need the air?
No. Hey, Mary 10.
8 Mary 10.
Do me a favor, could you please start EMS code 3? We're going to need a 4-point.
Copy, we'll upgrade to code 3.
Lincoln 25.
To Lincoln 25.
Something's become combative. We're code 4 up on the ground, and we're waiting for EMS to respond. We need to take it over to get eval emergency.
10-4.
Stop, Joseph. Knock it off.
This could be a fire ant. Yeah. Joseph, you're fine. I'd love to, but you can't calm down, okay?
Relax, Joseph, stop.
There you go.
Lincoln 25.
Take a deep breath. Trying to help you, Joseph. That's it. Just trying to help you.
Just
relax.
Please. Let me redeem myself.
There you go, see? There you go. There you go.
221, 1097.
10-4.
Wonderful, sir.
You're fine. Just breathe deep. Just breathe. Keep your head right there. See, look. Block your eyes there from the sun. Just relax. Just relax. You're doing fine. Stop, Joseph. Stop. Joseph, just relax. Okay, come on. There you go. Breathe. 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 There you go. Hold on. Stop. Stop, Joseph. Turn around. Joseph. Knock it off. Knock it off. Stop. Stop,
Stay there,
Joseph.
please.
Stop scraping up your head like that, man.
We got an ambulance
Okay, come
coming.
on.
We got an ambulance coming,
You're
Joseph.
doing a great job. You just keep it up, man. Just breathe. 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 Come on, just breathe.
The ambulance coming, buddy. We'll take care of you.
I'm not going to let that little ant get you. Stop, Joseph. You're not going anywhere, okay? Just stop. Just stop.
They have not opened the tonneau on my truck. Yeah, there's a white towel, dirty white towel up on the front.
Fuck!
Joseph, breathe.
Look at that, man. You got me like I'm a scumbag, man.
Trying to hurt you.
You don't want to hurt yourself, Joseph.
Help me, man.
We are
And let
helping
me
you.
see the dog, man. Come on, man. Y'all motherfuckers.
Joseph, just relax.
I never touched nobody's kid, man.
Joseph.
Hey, man. Fuck yeah. Hey, what y'all doing?
Hey, Joseph, that towel's going to help you out. Relax.
Joseph.
Stop.
That's wrong.
Can you breathe?
Yeah.
Joseph, relax.
He just keeps rubbing his head on the concrete.
Joseph.
Yeah, they're supposed to be in route
Code 3. Help me get his other leg.
2 Lincoln 21.
Can you get an ECR?
Stop, Joseph. Knock it off. Knock it off. Knock it off.
What's his name?
Joseph.
Hey, Joseph, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can't up, man. I can't stand up.
Joseph, can you breathe?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
2 Lincoln 21. They're advising they're on scene.
Stand for. We don't see them. Confirm, they have a corrected link.
It should be Palm and Santa Fe.
Affirmative. Apparently they're 1097 road.
That's
2 Lincoln 21. They had Santa Ana and Palm. They'll be en route.
No. My head got shot up.
And
Come
they're
on,
down at
man.
Santa Ana. They're on their way now. Joseph, just relax. Joseph, relax. Relax, Joseph. Relax. Relax, Joseph. Joseph, we're here to help you. Move and uncuff this left one here. Yeah, we gotta sit on that board.
Let's get his feet down first, yeah?
Alright.
Once we get his feet secured, then we can work on his arms from there.
You get all the strap ones here.
Joseph, just relax, okay? Come on, buddy.
This hand's sticking out a little bit if you want to try to get that cup on
You
it.
better get that one.
Or you get that leather cup on his hand.
Hey, dude, I want you to relax, okay? Yeah, he was grinding on the ground.
Yeah, he'd been grinding his head off. Your cup all the way. Yeah, you're all the way to the cup now.
Yeah, that's me, Martinez. Got you. Joseph, you okay? Joseph, you alright? You alright, dude? Joseph.
Okay.
Get up.
They got his feet.
Just make sure those are on there nice and tight.
Joseph.
He's moving.
Joseph.
Yeah, I got a long key.
Which way is it? Lock it. That way. What was the other arm?
29,800, Sarge.
29,800. Here. Yep. Short.
Probation 123. Log on. Self-initiate. 1097 at 1905 East Baxter Avenue for probation contact.
Yep. All right. Secure going on.
The Fresno County Coroner's Office determined the cause of death for Mr. Perez to be compressional asphyxia with a contributing factor of a toxic amount of methamphetamine. In fact, Mr. Perez was found to have a level of methamphetamine in his system that was 24 times the toxic level at the time of his death. This incident was thoroughly investigated and reviewed by 4 agencies, including the Fresno County Sheriff's Office, the Fresno Police Department, the Fresno County District Attorney's Office, and the City of Fresno's Office of Independent Review. All 4 agencies concluded that the officers and deputies did not use excessive force and their actions were within policy, and that both the Sheriff's Department and the Police Department were following directions from emergency medical staff on scene. Regardless of the personal choices he made in his life, everyone at that scene on that day were there to help Joseph. The system failed him. The system that was supposed to help him with his drug addiction failed him. Even when he reached out for help with his mental health challenges, the system failed him. On behalf of myself and the entire Fresno Police Department, I would like to express my deepest condolences to the family of Joseph Perez for their loss.